Good morning and welcome to Rocket Travels. Welcome to Sri Lanka and welcome to Galle Fort, built by the Portuguese in the 16th century. I'm going to take you on a little guided tour of the fort. Follow me. As you can see behind me, this fortress, Galle Fort, 16th century fort, is heavily fortified. The fort was first established in 1588 by the Portuguese, and after its capture by the Dutch in the 17th century, the fortification was extensively fortified from 1649 onwards. We're going to take a look up there. We're going to have a little wander up onto the ramparts and see what kind of view you get of the town. The ramparts, the fortification, surrounds all areas including the sea. First things first, on my little tour of Galle Fort is we're going to visit one of the bastions. This one is called Sun Bastion. These are the steps leading up to it, and these are sentry positions. So years ago, to get up here, you'd have to go past the guards and up these magnificent steps. Wow. A bastion is a structure projecting outward from the curtain wall of a fortification, most commonly angular in shape and positioned at the corners of the fort, with a fantastic view. And here we have the main gate entrance, which I just came through earlier, looking out into the town. Galle Fort clock tower, built in 1883 on top of a former guard room, and we're just going up to our second bastion position. Lower section to the fortification walls, you have these casemates, vaulted chambers. These would have been built in the reign of the Portuguese. They're on a lower level and protect the fortress from the mainland. Splendid view of the fortifications here from what I can only describe as the bastion that's in more central to the fort. In the distance there is the bastion we visited and gave you some information on. But what a view of the sea and the land from this fortification. This seems to be the highest point as well. We're going to take a little walk around the whole fort, show you all areas, and next up you've just seen where the fortification faces the mainland, and we're going to walk the sea wall, see what paraphernalia we can find and how the fortification would have defended itself against invaders from the sea. The cannons here at the fort are replicas, but this is basically a replica of a Dutch 18-pounder cast iron cannon with a wooden frame to it, and this is the view out to sea. A little bit breezy. Amazing, beautiful day here in Sri Lanka. Blue skies with some wispy little clouds. The sea is roaring in along the coastline here. The sea looks very, very aggressive. This fort is pristine, considering some of the fortresses and castle-like buildings around the world. This is very, very well preserved and very, very interesting because of it. Sometimes you go to places and you have to use your imagination. Here you can actually see and feel straight on what life must have been like here back in the day. Hundreds of years ago now. 400 plus years ago, something like that. The British, yes, us Brits, in 1796 we took over control of Galle Fort. The Dutch surrendered after the British captured Colombo. This here is an ammunition bunker of a different era. There are artillery gun emplacements on this wall. Let's go and take a little look. It's not just hundreds of years ago this fortification was used as a defensive position. It was also used in the Second World War by the British they would have had a gun emplacement here, looking out to sea. As much as some of the cannons here in the fortress are replicas, this one isn't. This one was built in 1807. Very, very sturdy construction. Look at that. You wouldn't want to be a ship out there with this pointing at you. It is very, very windy here in Sri Lanka, and the waves are very, very choppy. Okay, we are on the northwest side of the fortress, and it is a little bit less windy in this section. Previous section was very, very windy and very difficult to vlog. Look at this magnificent tree. You can probably hear the crows crowing. And we're going to show you this next bastion. This bastion is actually built on a rock, which is a little bit different to the other bastions in this fortification. Let's go and check it out. I am staying within a stone's throw of this location. Check out the dogs, chilling, relaxing, having a good time here in Galle Fort. There are different ways of saying Galle. Apparently, I've asked the locals, and the English pronunciation of it is Galle. There are other ways of saying it. When I've looked on YouTube, everyone says it a different way, but I think it's quite acceptable, from what I can gather from the locals, to call it Galle. In case anyone goes in the comments going, you're saying it wrong, I've checked it out. Infrastructure on this northwest, I think it's northwest, I don't have my compass. I'm kind of looking at the sun and looking in the direction of Colombo. I'm trying to guess it, doing a bit of guessing that it's northwest facing. And yeah, the infrastructure on this side of the fortress is a little bit more substantial. There you have some old colonial buildings. One of them is called the Indian Hut. I was in there for my dinner the other day, as it has a nice terrace and a nice viewpoint. It was okay. Here we have, this is a replica gun emplacement. I hope you guys watching this like fortifications, because this whole vlog is about Galle Fort and the fortifications. In the next vlog we're going to walk the streets and show you all the boutique shops, restaurants, bars. As you look back into town there, you can see all these like little roads, little lanes. It's full of different churches of different faiths, mosques, old colonial business buildings, barracks, all kinds of paraphernalia of colonialism in Sri Lanka. Also, if you're not watching my channel before, I struggle with my words, so too, I make no excuses. You know what I'm on about. These old buildings. As you can see, it's very, very clean, and they tend to put all their rubbish in one spot, which will be collected. Since I've been in Sri Lanka, I've found the place very, very clean compared to other places I've been in Southeast Asia, including where I live in Thailand. I love Thailand to bits. We have a few problems in our village with littering. Rocket Travels does like his points of curiosity, and here we have one now. This, back in the day when they had cannons here facing out to sea, this would have been the position of the cannon, and this would have been the viewpoint of the bastion wall facing out to sea. And what they've done with it, they've made it into a little access point for the beach, which is really, really cool. So you can come down here amongst the trees and have a swim in the sea. Fantastic. How cool is that? Just below the lighthouse, which is poking up there amongst the trees, is this gunpowder magazine. This is where they would have stored their gunpowder and cannonballs. This was built by the Dutch in 1739. It must be love, 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 nothing more, nothing less. This place is full of courting couples. It's not the first time in Sri Lanka where I've been somewhere that's beautiful like this area, and there's courting couples in every corner, which is cool. Good luck to them. Good life. What a place to court your girlfriend or boyfriend, or whichever. Right, it's lovely and shady down this spot. These trees shading the fortification from the sun. You can see it poking through the trees. It's a lovely, lovely area. One of the smaller bastions at this fortress is sometimes the best. We have no tourists here, and looking back there we have, this is what's called the Dutch hospital. We'll be vlogging on that in the next vlog. There is one more thing I'm going to show you before I finish this vlog. The sea banging in there. Beautiful waves here in Sri Lanka. Big swells all along the coastline. Wow. Feel the rhythm, feel the vibe. You certainly feel the vibes in this place. We are going to exit the fortress through the old Dutch entrance to the fortress. There are two entrances. This one is the old Dutch entrance exit, and it still has, as you can see, there's a lot of traffic coming through here, and they have the big old school wooden gates there, and there we are out into the main part of town, out of the fort. So from Look at Travels, I've really enjoyed making today's vlog. It's been really, really super fantastic. We'll see you all in the next vlog. Take care.